Hello again and welcome to my channel. I'm Fraser from Metalworking in France. Got a little project on today. A friend of mine has got this contraption. It looks pretty, well, it looks almost Aztec. I think it used to be originally a drinking fountain, but anyway, it's blocked up here. I've managed to separate where it's been welded together before, or brazed. I've managed to get it apart, so there's a plug in here, which is obviously to line it up at some time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and get this plug out, and then I can clear the internal parts of this, and we can put a wire through it and maybe make an ornamental lamp out of it. So follow me in the next few steps and see how we get on with this thing. In the meantime, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share. Okay. Right, as you can see what I've done, I've put some welding wire up, right up through his nozzle, right over the bend, just so that I can now use that to pull a wire through. I'm going to have to braze this thing back together now and see how this looks. Right, well now I'm just brazing this back together. I'm using silver solder rods because they melt a little bit easier than using brazing rods, because I don't want to get this too hot in case I actually melt the brass from the stem itself. So I'll use silver solder because it has a much lower melting point and it's easier to get it to flow to make the joint properly. So that's coming on quite nicely actually. I've speeded this up slightly just because it is quite a long process in reality. Well, as you can see, I've now welded this thing back together. What I've done, I've managed to clear it by breaking it, as you can see in the previous frames. There was a metal, well, an old iron bolt or something that had been put inside it to hold it together. I've taken that out, so we've got a clear way all the way through here now. I've put a wire in so that all the way, a bit of welding wire, so that I can pull an electric wire through it. I'm intending to put a little LED on the end of its beak and a base, obviously, so it can be a little light. Probably just be an ornamental light. It won't really shed an awful lot of light. But anyway, I've brazed this back together, and as you can see, the whole thing is actually made of brass. Whether we could clean all this old khaki paint, well, plating off or not, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure whether the lady would like that, whether she likes it as it is with the patina. And well, anyway, we'll see how this goes. I've got that far with it. I'll send her a picture and she can decide what she wants to do with it. Okay, so we'll carry on and see how this thing progresses. So now I'm just machining down this nut. I'm going to need a nut to hold the swan neck into the base. So I've made it a bit thinner, and now I'm cutting a new thread inside the nut itself, because it's a weird thread. I can't exactly remember what pitches it was. I think it's about 18mm, but it's only about a 1mm pitch on the thread. So I'm having to screw cut this on the lathe. I've made the nut nice and thin so that it can just be inset into the base, into the wooden base, so that it doesn't project at all. So that should be quite good. So now I'm just using the linisher. I've cut the base out of this solid piece of oak. It's quite a nice piece of wood actually, fairly thick. I've just cut like an oval shape so that I can make this base. I'm linishing this just to get it nice and smooth all the way around the edge. Some of these metal working tools work on wood as well, so it's not too bad at all. I've now run this round on the router. I do have a router for doing woodworking stuff, but I don't use it very often because most of my work is in metal. So I'll just run this round so that we can get an edge on it, just break the edge so it looks a bit more ornate. So here you can see I've milled out the back of this piece of wood. This area will take the battery, and this area is where the gooseneck or swan neck, whatever you want to call it, will come through. Let me take this off now, and I'll just show you what the front or the top of it looks like. I'll take that off of there, turn it over, and basically that's what we have. I've put a router around this front edge, or top edge rather, just so that it just makes it a little bit different. So all this lot's got to be polished up, and it should be quite nice actually when the lamp goes in. So now I'm just spraying on a 2-pack lacquer. It's the sort of stuff they spray on cars when they put the finish coat onto cars. So it lays out nice and smooth, and it's crystal clear. So it's quite good. Well, here we have the finished base. It's got a 2-pack lacquer on it at the moment, which looks rather nice actually. As you can see, it's extremely smooth. Looks quite nice, but I will rub that down and then I'll wax it, which will give it a more authentic finish. So yeah, it's quite nice that, and like that. As you can see, I've soldered these wires together just here. I'm now going to slip some shrink wrap up the tube so that these can be insulated. So this will slide up. I'll shrink that on in a minute. I've got another joint a bit further down the wire, as you can see, on the other wire. So sorry about the quality. It's a bit difficult trying to focus on something so small. But I'll slide some shrink wrap up over here, and then these 2 wires I've made longer basically, because what I'm going to use, I've got a little LED light here, which once connected to about 6 volts, it'll just glow. It'll look a little bit like a drop of water out of the end of the gooseneck. Okay, so let's have a look at this a bit further on down the line and see how we get on with this. There we are, that's shrink wrap done, wires insulated, and a little LED. So here you can see I've hollowed out the base and I've put this felt on the base so it can sit on a table. I've mounted this battery in here. It's stuck with a bit of Velcro, so that will now stick in the bottom so it doesn't come out, and can be changed whenever the battery gets low, and then I'll turn this over and show you it with the light running. So here we see the finished item. I think it looks quite smart actually. I like the base. It's a nice piece of oak I managed to acquire. As you can see, this little thing will light up. It doesn't give an awful lot of light, but it's only working off a battery anyway. A small LED light. Actually looks quite effective really. It's just something different. So there we have it. Quite nice really. Well, there we are. Not a bad little ornament actually in the end. As you can see, see me looking through it. As you can see, it lights up with a little LED, battery operated. Quite a nice finish on the oak base. I'll bring it a little bit closer so you can see it. And I think the lady will be quite pleased with that. it's only an ornament anyway, really. So you know, hopefully it's made something of it. As I said before, this lady bought this thing in Argentina, and it brings her some fond memories. So it'll be nice that she can have that sitting on her dressing table, or on a chest of drawers, or on a sideboard, or anything like that in the house. Just to, and she could even put a little post-it pad underneath it, use it as a notepad. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that video. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. Excuse my voice, I'm a little bit croaky today, I'm not quite sure why. I've been going through it a little bit recently. This is why I haven't posted any videos recently. I've had an operation on my stomach, and I'm still suffering a little bit with some pain and some bits and pieces that they've still got to remove from me. I've got several plasters on my stomach. I won't go into too much detail because it gets a bit gory. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And if you haven't already done so, please look back at some videos that I've made in the past. And I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Look out for more videos in the future. In the meantime, bid you farewell. Goodbye.